So you want to become an entrepreneur. Perhaps you're an entrepreneur and you're having some struggles. Well, our next guest has some great advice for you. I'm joined by Angela Civitella from Intinde, and we're going to go over some of these things. And Angela, when it comes to entrepreneurs, everybody I think at one point in their life thinks about doing it. What do you think is? I know we're going to go through a few things, but what's the number one thing you always tell people when they say to you, "I'm going to be an entrepreneur"?
The most important thing for me is to do your homework, do your research, observe, analyze, notice spending patterns, see what's happening in your geography, what type of products are present, what's not present. Do your homework before you start anything. Don't just go in without being prepared.
Right. Oh, and I think that speaks to the first point that you sent along to me here, and that is critical thinking. Tell us, what exactly critical thinking is and why is it so important to entrepreneurs?
Um, Pretty much what I just explained. It gives you the platform and the basis for wanting to start something and position something into the marketplace with knowledge and the certainty that at the very least you have more of a chance of succeeding than failing. So doing your homework, analysis, inferences, research, product knowledge, service knowledge, uh, client base, what kind of customers would be interested in what it is that you have to offer. Those are all critical elements that have to be part of the basis of what starts you off as an entrepreneur.
And
That
creativity is incredibly important as well, right? It's easy to say, oh well, you just be creative. I think especially in this time, becoming an entrepreneur, I think there are so many distractions when it comes to your phone and your social media and so forth. And sometimes we don't give ourselves enough time and space to do that creative thinking, right?
So the concept, the notion of creative lateral thinking means this is when an entrepreneur is really, they're at their best because they're looking to disrupt the market. They're looking to
Okay.
bring something that's not present right now into the market. So they have an ability to be able to think outside of the box. Entrepreneurs are phenomenal for being innovators. And that's why, for me, they're my favorite kind of people because they always find some way, something to bring to the market that we didn't even know we needed and then we want. And it usually turns out to be a great fit. So creative thinking is hugely important. But
And
after that,
taking sorry, I was just going to say, and taking initiative as well. I imagine you really have to be a self starter. So what's some of your advice for people that they may be self starters, but sometimes you hit roadblocks and you need to continue to motivate yourself. What are some of those tools you can use to keep motivated?
one simple rule I go by is that no one's coming for you. No one's showing up if you don't. You have to
Right.
have the power to power through because there's nobody that's showing up to do it for you, to call you out on it, to tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So you have to have incredible initiative, consistent initiative in terms of your focus on what it is that you're looking to create to bring to the market. Initiative is vastly important.
Well, and I think that actually what you just said speaks to your other point, and that is perseverance, right? I mean, you have to persevere. It doesn't matter what roadblock comes in front of you. You have to be quite determined to be an entrepreneur.
You have to do it and believe in it, even when you don't want to do it or believe in it. I call it negative failure. It goes beyond the notion of failing, whereby if you surpass that fear of failing, then you get into the sweet spot and you get into your groove that you can actually do this. But you got to get to that negative failure point. It's vitally important. It sounds awful, but it actually is the best thing that can happen for you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think you have to have some flexibility. That's another point you have. You have to have that flexibility, that adaptability. Uh, Another one that I think a lot of people forget because they get sort of stuck in a tunnel vision sometimes, Angela.
So, what we've seen in the last 2 years is this phenomenal resourcefulness entrepreneurs have to pivot and change, to be able to stay topical and ongoing into the market despite what's going on around them. They've been able to stay present. So pivot and change and becoming manuable to whatever is around you is also key, a very key factor to your success.
Yeah, absolutely. Angela, thanks so much for sharing some advice with our viewers today. Really appreciate the time. Hey, don't go anywhere because coming up after the break, I'll tell you why Stewie's, my beautiful dog here, is wearing this. It's to help support a great cause. We'll tell you about it right after this.